It seems like everywhere you look these days, Nvidia is just dominating the tech headlines.
Yeah, you can't escape it.
And right there, next to every mention, is Jensen Huang with that signature leather jacket.
Yeah.
This company that used to be this kind of insider thing for gamers.
Right.
They've become this like global phenomenon.
Sure.
I mean, they even briefly became more valuable than Microsoft.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, he's a legitimate rock star in the tech world now.
It is a pretty stunning rise.
It is.
And, it really makes you think, how did this company that started out,
Right.
Making graphics cards for video games become like the absolute center of this whole artificial intelligence explosion that's happening?
Right.
And it seems like
That's a wild.
a lot of it traces back to this one person and his vision and how he's led this company.
That's exactly what we're going to try to unpack today.
I'm excited.
So, you pointed me to this
Yeah.
like crazy detailed Wikipedia page on Jensen Huang.
It's a long one.
Oh my gosh, it is so long.
There's a lot there.
But it is just packed with incredible information about him and the story of Nvidia. So our mission today is to dig into that page, pull out the most interesting and insightful pieces.
Let's do it.
And try to really get a sense of like the individual behind this, massive success story.
Yeah, the human behind the headlines.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're going to go all the way back to his early life.
Okay.
We'll look at his education, the wild ride of actually building Nvidia.
Oh, yeah.
His leadership style, which is pretty fascinating.
Definitely unique.
And all the recognition and philanthropy that he's done along the way.
All right. Are you ready to get started?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay.
So he was born Huang Jensen in Taipei, Taiwan in 1963.
All right.
His parents were Taiwanese-American immigrants.
Okay.
His father was a chemical engineer.
Interesting.
And his mother was a school teacher.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They moved around a bit early on. They even spent about 4 years in Thailand.
Oh, wow.
Where he went to an international school in Bangkok.
Okay.
But there's this great detail that I loved.
What's that?
His mother taught him English.
Okay.
By picking 10 random words from the dictionary every single day.
What?
Like, how cool is that?
That's so cool. I love that.
So you imagine?
Yeah, that's very creative.
Like, that's so creative.
And I feel like that really speaks to maybe where he gets some of his out-of-the-box thinking from. Like having that kind of unconventional approach early on.
He's like fostering this like comfort with the unknown and like...
Yes, being able to connect different ideas.
Yes, connecting the dots that other people might not see.
And that seems like something that's been key to Nvidia's success.
For sure.
So maybe that was being instilled way back then.
It's a great little detail.
It is.
Then in the late 60s, his father traveled to New York City.
Right.
And in 1973, when Jensen was 10, he and his brother moved to Tacoma, Washington. To live with an aunt and uncle. And this is where things take a really unexpected turn.
Oh, okay.
So they were accidentally enrolled in the Oneida Baptist Institute. In Kentucky.
In Kentucky, all right.
And it's like a complete misunderstanding.
Oh, really?
His aunt and uncle were relatively recent immigrants themselves. And they thought it was this like prestigious boarding school. But in reality, it was this
religious
reform academy for like troubled youth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So very different from what they were expecting.
A little bit of a mix up there.
And to show how committed the family was to education. His parents sold almost everything they owned.
Wow.
To afford the tuition.
That's a big sacrifice.
Huge sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
So at 10 years old, he's living in this boys' dormitory.
Oh, wow.
In Kentucky, in this very different environment. And everyone there had to work every day. His older brother was working on a tobacco farm doing manual labor.
Oh, wow.
And because Jensen was too young for the academy classes, he went to Oneida Elementary, which was a separate public school. So can you imagine showing up there as this like undersized Asian immigrant with long hair and a really thick accent?
It must have been really tough.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And he was bullied a lot.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, especially at that age.
Especially at that age.
Yeah.
But it's kind of amazing how he dealt with it all.
Yeah, how did he manage?
So he was cleaning toilets every day as a chore.
Oh, wow.
But he also learned to play table tennis. And he got really good at it.
Oh, wow.
He even appeared in Sports Illustrated when he was 14. For his table tennis skills.
That's incredible.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, what a story.
Yeah, I love that.
He also joined the swimming team. but I think one of the most amazing stories from this time. Okay.
It's about his roommate.
Okay, what about him?
So his roommate was 17.
Okay.
Covered in tattoos.
Oh, wow.
Had all these scars.
Oh, my gosh.
And couldn't read.
Okay.
And Jensen taught him how to read. And in exchange, his roommate taught him how to bench press.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What a great story.
Isn't that a great story?
Yeah.
It's just like...
That really speaks to his character, too, you know?
Right, like at such a young age.
Yeah, to have that kind of empathy and to help somebody like that.
And that resourcefulness, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like trading skills like that.
Yeah.
He later said that he remembers his time in Kentucky more vividly than almost any other period of his life.
Wow.
Which shows you how much of an impact it had.
Yeah, those early experiences really shape us.
They really do.
And when they're that intense,
right,
they stick with you.
They stick with you.
It must have been such a contrast to, you know,
right.
like going from where he was to that environment.
Totally different.
Yeah, but he found ways to connect with people.
Yeah.
And succeed, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty incredible.
So 2 years later,
okay,
his parents moved to Beaverton, Oregon.
Right.
And he and his brother were able to join them.
Okay, good.
And his teenage years at Aloha High School sound like they were a complete 180 from his time in Kentucky.
Oh, really? How so?
He excelled academically.
Okay.
He skipped 2 grades.
Wow.
Graduated when he was 16.
Oh, my gosh, he was 16.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Became a nationally ranked table tennis player.
Still going strong with the table tennis.
I know.
That's awesome.
And he was super active in math, computer, and science clubs.
So already showing those interests?
Right. You can see the path forming there.
Yeah.
Oh, and get this.
Okay.
His funk job was the graveyard shift at Denny's.
Oh, wow.
When he was 15.
Okay.
And he worked there as a dishwasher, busboy, and waiter for 5 years.
Wow, 5 years. That's a long time.
I know, right?
Especially while going to school and excelling at school.
It's a strong work ethic.
Yeah, super impressive.
It's funny because that Denny's connection comes back later.
Oh, really? How so?
You'll see. But it's an interesting little foreshadowing.
I'm intrigued. Okay.
So from those late nights at Denny's,
right?
He went to Oregon State University.
Okay.
He chose it because of the lower in-state tuition.
Makes sense.
Smart move, right?
Yeah.
And he studied electrical engineering and computer science. Graduated with a bachelor's degree in 1984.
Okay.
When he was only 20.
Wow, still so young.
I know. And he was the youngest in his class.
Oh, wow.
He even said that he felt like he was the only one who looked like a child.
Ah, kind of a recurring theme.
I know, like always being the youngest one in the room.
Yeah, seems to be something he's used to.
After Oregon State,
yeah,
he went to Silicon Valley.
Of course.
And worked as a microchip designer.
Okay. And
then he got a job at AMD.
Oh, AMD? Okay.
Which he was already familiar with. And designed microprocessors there.
Interesting.
And while he was working there,
okay,
he also took night classes at Stanford.
Wow, so he's working full-time?
Yeah.
And going to grad school at night?
Uh-huh.
That's dedication.
Talk about a hard worker.
Wow.
And he got his master's in electrical engineering in 1992.
Okay, so now we're getting closer to the Nvidia founding.
We are. So 1993 is the big year.
The pivotal year.
The pivotal year.
Okay.
So he meets Chris Malachowski and Curtis Pram.
Okay, the other co-founders.
Right, while he's working at Sun Microsystems.
Okay.
And it's actually through LSI Logic.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. How did that happen?
So it sounds like they were all brought together by a project at Sun.
Okay.
And they didn't always see eye to eye.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Especially Malachowski and Priam.
Interesting. About what?
They had some pretty big disagreements about how to approach chip design.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I guess they found common ground eventually.
They did. They all left Sun after 1990
okay,
to start their own graphics chip company.
All right.
And they wanted to focus on PC games.
Oh, wow. So that was the original idea.
That was the idea.
Interesting.
Initially, they were going to call the company Envision.
Envision. Okay.
But then Jensen suggested Nvidia.
Nvidia.
Yeah.
I like it better.
And it comes from the Latin word Nvidia.
Oh, Nvidia.
Yeah.
I see.
And apparently, Curtis Prime
okay,
really wanted their competitors to be green with envy.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
It worked.
It did work.
So where did this Denny's connection come back in?
So this is the best part.
Okay.
Throughout 1992,
okay,
they were meeting all the time to work on their business plan.
Okay. Where were they meeting?
At a Denny's.
At a Denny's.
In East San Jose.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
That's amazing.
And Jensen specifically chose it.
Okay.
Because he used to work at a Denny's.
Oh, that's right.
And he said it was quieter than home and had cheap coffee.
Oh, that's so funny.
Isn't that amazing?
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's just so, like, down to earth.
Yeah, very humble beginnings.
You could just picture them in a booth late at night.
With stacks of napkins.
Drinking coffee.
Covered in notes.
And just, like, hashing out this plan.
Yeah, for what would become this huge company.
Oh, no.
It's incredible.
So they formally incorporated on April 5th, 1993.
Okay.
And the way they got the initial capital is hilarious.
Okay, how'd they do it?
So their lawyer demanded the $200
what
that Jensen had in his pocket.
Oh my gosh.
Right then and there.
No way.
Yeah, so each of the founders chipped in another $200.
Okay.
So they started with a grand total of $600.
You're kidding?
I know.
$600.
That's it.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's incredible.
But they managed to get some more funding.
Okay.
From the CEO of LSI.
Okay.
And from some venture capitalists.
All right, so they got some more serious money.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
And right from the beginning, Jensen became president and CEO.
Okay.
Even though he was younger than the other two founders.
Interesting.
They both deferred to him.
Right from the start.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of trust.
I know.
They must have seen something special in him.
They must have.
Even back then.
So they had the company.
Okay.
They had some funding. But it was not smooth sailing from there.
Oh, I bet there were challenges.
Oh, yeah.
What were some of the biggest ones?
So Jensen has said that starting Nvidia was 1,000,000 times harder.
Wow.
Than he ever imagined.
Yeah, they bet.
And if they'd known how hard it was going to be, they probably wouldn't have done it.
It's easy to look back now.
I know.
And see how successful they've been.
Right.
But those early days are tough for any company.
Especially in tech.
Yeah.
So one of the early challenges was their technical approach.
Yeah, so.
They were focused on using quadrilateral primitives.
Okay.
Which are like four-sided shapes.
Okay.
For their graphics accelerator chips.
Okay.
But most of the industry was using triangle primitives.
Three-sided shapes.
Yeah.
Interesting. So they were going against the grain.
They were.
Right from the start.
And it put them at a disadvantage. And almost led to them going bankrupt.
Oh, wow. So they were close to shutting down.
They were really close.
Wow.
But then they got a $5 million investment from Sega.
Oh, wow. That's a lifeline.
It was a huge lifeline.
Yeah.
And that allowed them to switch to triangle primitives.
Okay, so they made the change.
They pivoted.
Yeah.
But even after that, things were still really precarious.
Okay.
Right up until they released the RVA 128 in 1997. They only had about a month of payroll left.
Oh my gosh, they were cutting it close.
So close.
Wow.
And their unofficial company motto from that time
what was it?
Was, our company is 30 days from going out of business.
Oh, wow.
And Jensen would apparently say that in presentations all the time.
Wow, just to keep that sense of urgency.
I guess so, yeah.
That's interesting.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But Jensen actually believes that that early pain and suffering was crucial to their later success.
Okay, how so?
He thinks it forced him to become a better leader.
Okay.
To make tougher choices.
Yeah.
And to build a more resilient culture.
Yeah, you can see how that would happen.
Yeah, those high-stakes situations really force you to adapt and learn.
And come together as a team.
Right.
So speaking of leadership, what's his leadership style like?
So it's pretty unique.
Okay, tell me more.
One of the first things that's different is that he doesn't have a fixed office.
Oh, what does he do?
He basically roams the Nvidia headquarters.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he sets up in different conference rooms.
Just wherever he needs to be. That's very different.
And he also has a really flat management structure.
Flat? How so?
So he reportedly has like 60 direct reports.
60? That's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
As of late 2024. And his philosophy is that his direct reports should be the best.
Makes sense.
At what they do.
Yeah.
And that they don't need a lot of hand-holding.
Okay, so very high trust, high accountability.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Oh, and he doesn't wear a watch.
Oh, really? Why not?
His reasoning is that now is the most important time.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Very zen.
Yeah, kind of, right?
So he's been the president and CEO since the very beginning?
Since 1993.
Wow, that is a really long time.
I know, especially for a tech company.
Yeah, that industry changes so quickly.
It does.
It's hard to stay at the top for that long.
And he owns about 3.6% of Nvidia's stock.
Okay.
Which went public in 1999.
Right.
Back in 2007.
Uh-huh.
He earned 24 $34.6 million as CEO.
Okay.
Which was one of the highest CEO salaries in the U.S. at the time.
Yeah, he's doing all right. So for a long time, Nvidia was mostly known in like the gaming community and like computer graphics circles.
Right. It was a pretty niche thing.
Yeah.
But AI has totally changed that.
Right. It's gone mainstream.
It has.
So how did that happen?
So people started realizing that NVIDIA's GPUs.
Okay, they're graphics processing units?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were really good at the kind of intense computations that you need for AI.
Oh, interesting.
And that changed everything.
Yeah, it was like a perfect match.
It was.
The technology they already had was exactly what this new field needed.
That's crazy.
And their stock price just exploded.
Oh, yeah.
And Jensen Huang's net worth went way up.
So in 2019, his net worth was about $3 billion.
Okay, $3 billion, not bad.
Not bad.
But by May 2024, it was $90 billion.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's a huge jump.
I know.
Oh.
And by February 2025, it was $114.5 billion.
Wow.
Which made him one of the richest people in the world.
Yeah, that's top 15.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And Nvidia's market capitalization went up to $3 trillion. $3 trillion.
Yeah.
That's more than Microsoft, Amazon, Meta.
I know. Wow.
They were huge.
That is a massive company.
Yeah.
And they just kept going up.
They did.
So in June 2024, they actually overtook Microsoft to become the world's most valuable company for a little while.
I know.
At $3.34 trillion.
It's hard to even fathom that amount of money.
It's an insane number.
It is.
Yeah.
And with that success came a whole new level of fame.
Oh, yeah.
For Jensen Huang.
He became a celebrity.
He did. It's so funny.
I love it.
In Taiwan, they started calling it Jensanity.
Jensanity. That's awesome.
But Jensanity for Jeremy Lin.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
When he visited Taiwan in 2024, there were huge crowds of fans and paparazzi everywhere.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't even supposed to speak at Computex, which is this big tech trade show.
Yeah.
But he became like the main attraction.
Oh, wow. So he's like a rock star.
Totally.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And Mark Zuckerberg compared him to Taylor Swift, but for tech.
Oh, my gosh. What a comparison.
I know, right? It's so funny.
I love it.
And then in January 2025, he gave a keynote at CES.
Oh, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas.
Yeah. And he announced all these new gaming chips. And these AI platforms for robots.
Oh, wow.
So it really solidified his position as this, like, visionary leader.
Yeah, like he's shaping the future of tech, not just following it.
And he's been named one of the most influential people in the world.
Oh, wow. By who?
By Time Magazine.
Oh, wow.
In both 2021 and 2024.
Okay, so multiple times. That's impressive.
But his impact goes way beyond business and tech.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about his philanthropy.
So in 2008, Nvidia helped set up a classroom in China. For students who were affected by that massive earthquake.
Oh, wow. The Wenchuan earthquake.
Yeah, okay. That's great.
And he's personally donated $30 million to Stanford.
Wow, $30 million.
That's a lot of money.
To establish the Jensen Huang School of Engineering Center.
Wow. Okay, so he's giving back to his alma mater.
He is.
That's awesome.
And in 2019, he donated $2 million to Oneida Baptist Institute.
Oh, wow. Back to where he went to school in Kentucky.
Yeah, to build Huang Home.
Okay, what is that?
It's a dormitory and classroom building.
Okay.
Specifically for girls.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
It's like he's come full circle.
Yeah, what a great story. That really shows, you know, that he hasn't forgotten where he came from.
Right.
And those early experiences.
Yeah.
And that he wants to give back to that community.
Exactly.
That's great.
And then in 2022, he gave $50 million to Oregon State University.
Wow, another $50 million?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
To help create a new supercomputing institute.
Wow.
So he's clearly very committed to supporting education.
Yeah, clearly education is very important to him.
It is.
And, you know, you can really see how much he values it based on all the awards and recognition he's received.
He has so many.
It's a long list.
It's a very long list.
What are some of the highlights?
So he was Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year in High Technology. Back in 1999.
All right.
And he got the Daniel J. Epstein Engineering Management Award in 2002.
Okay.
And the Dr. Morris Chang Exemplary Leadership Award in 2004.
Right.
And he's an alumni fellow at Oregon State. He has honorary doctorates from Oregon State and National Taiwan University.
Okay.
And he was named the best-performing CEO in the world by Harvard Business Review.
Wow.
In 2019.
That's a big one.
It is.
Best performing CEO in the world.
That's pretty impressive.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What else?
He got the IE Founders Medal in 2020.
Okay.
The Edison Award in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
The Grand Prize of the Vin Future Prize in 2024.
Okay.
And the Queen Elizabeth Prize for Engineering.
Wow.
In early 2025.
That's a huge honor.
And those are just a few of them.
Yeah, he's racked up quite a few.
He has.
That's amazing.
So let's talk a little bit about his personal life.
Okay.
So he met his wife,
Uh-huh.
Lori Mills,
okay.
at Oregon State.
Oh, wow.
And she was actually his engineering lab partner.
Oh, that's cute.
I know, right?
So they've been together since college?
Yeah, they've been married since 1985.
Okay.
And they have 2 children,
Right.
Spencer and Madison.
Okay.
And it's interesting.
What's that?
Spencer actually opened a bar in Taipei.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
It was one of the top 50 bars in Asia.
Wow.
But it closed in 2021.
Okay.
And now he's a product manager at Nvidia.
Oh, so he's working for his dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Madison also works at Nvidia.
Oh, wow. Both of them work there.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
As director of product marketing.
Okay.
And she worked in the hotel industry before that.
Okay. So they both have interesting careers.
Yeah. That's cool.
So before Nvidia went public
Mm-hmm.
and became this huge success,
Yeah.
they lived in pretty ordinary homes. Okay. Middle class.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But later, they moved to Los Altos Hills.
Oh, wow.
In California.
Okay.
Which is like super fancy.
Yeah.
And they got a second home in Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
And there were reports a few years ago
Uh-huh.